3, 2, 1, and we're live. I don't know if you can hear. My son is crying in the background. Welcome to episode 19 of the Mixed Martial Angst podcast. I'm your host once again, as always, Benjamin the Cone. Joining me today, we have our co-host, Alejandro. I'll let him finish. And Bilal is here at home without demons.
Yeah. No demons this time. That's a new one.
It's just the co-host. Alejandro, Bilal, say hi.
Hola.
Hola, mi amigo.
Hey, that sounds nice, actually. That sounds pretty well.
That was pretty good, right?
Yeah, because we have similar sets of sounds.
We got a lot to get to, and we don't have a lot of time to do it, most of it because of me. All right, so here's we go. We had a card that happened last night, and then a thing that happened after the card.
Yeah.
A thing that kind of, in a way, overshadowed the card itself. But we're going to get to that in a bit. Could we just talk about how ESPN's pacing is fantastic so far?
They show how professionals do it. The way they use Laura Sanko's skills in between fights to set up things that are coming next is also very good. Laura Sanko is very good at her job too, and just the pacing itself is such an improvement. It's a marked improvement to the crap that the UFC was doing on Fox. Jesus Christ, that was awful.
I mean, if you like, it's not that long ago that we remember how awful the pacing of the Fox cards were. So thank God, actually, at this point that they're on ESPN. And imagine if ESPN got the bid originally, how much better things might have been. And honestly, I feel like we'd probably be in a better place overall. But
it's an interesting idea. This notion of what they will do.
That's the Earth 2 timeline.
Yeah. Because ESPN might not put up with the shit that happened.
No, they are. They're posting clips of it, so it looks like they're talking.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do a quick breakdown. Not even a breakdown, just a rundown of what happened on the prelims. We had Mike Grundy beat Nad Narimani.
No, I didn't watch it. I was at school.
Priscilla Cachoeira.
Yeah, I know she lost. How did she look?
She lost 2 rounds pretty clearly, and then broke Molly McCann's orbital.
Yeah, so not that bad.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I mean, she showed why anybody sort of thought she might be a decent fighter, but it took 2 rounds to get there, and Molly McCann still won despite not having an eye.
No, before that she was very hittable, but like offense was.
Her offense is never an issue. It's always her defense.
Yeah. Like she could match her opponent, but like her defense is so open that she just got scored on.
Yeah, Danny kind of schooled Danny Henry, and it was pretty awesome to watch.
Don't remember any of them.
Yeah, no, he's the Hawaiian guy. He beat. You remember Hakeem Duodu, the guy who came in with like a big striking background and was like a super prospect, and Danny Henry just drops him and chokes him in the first. So
no, I don't remember him, but I know she felt bad about it.
It's all good. Sarparbek Safarov defeated Nikolai Negum.
Yeah. I have no idea who these people are.
Fine. It wasn't a good fight. It's fine. Then we had Mark Dykesay looking better than he ever has against Joseph Duffy. But I happen to have thoughts on that too. I think that Duffy is the type of opponent that would make Mark Dykesay look good. In a
I didn't watch that fight either.
You should.
What did you watch? God damn it!
The special. Hey! I was in school.
It's a good fight. It's a really fun. It's a good fight. Joe Duffy doesn't check leg kicks, so I'm not super shocked that he got beat up by a leg kick heavy game plan. And Joe Duffy doesn't pressure, which is when Mark Dykesay really gets into trouble anyway. So it doesn't really show me. Like, Dykesay looked good. Don't get me wrong. He was crisp. He still showed off some of the flash, but it was kind of just like as a way to like hype up the crowd more than anything.
He was more controlled.
That's every fight, though. I mean, he throws out flashes.
So sometimes he lands the flashy shit. By the way,
sometimes.
Safarov grabbed the cage about 1,000 times and got only 1 point deducted, just so you're aware. It was nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that because my power went off between that fight and
it's not worth it.
main card starting.
So bad. It's so bad. Reffing is so bad. But yeah, I really liked what I saw from Dikese. I am still hopeful for him. I'm really sad to see how Joseph Duffy is kind of like fading.
No, he's had injuries, and he's
No,
taking
I'm
too
talking about
much
injuries. I
too
know.
much time off in between fights. That happens a lot.
No, I know, but that's what makes me sad is that we're never really good. Like, it would have been kind of cool if Duffy went on a crazy run and then they rematched Conor McGregor. That would have been cool. It's like a built-in story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but shit happens. I mean, but there's still hope if he wants to hang around as long as Masvidal. He can put it together like Masvidal at the end of his career.
We'll see.
It's not impossible.
We'll see. But Conor will be gone by then anyway.
Who knows where Conor is right now, even.
Arnold Allen defeated Jordan Rinaldi. Not going to lie, I thought Rinaldi might be able to out-grapple Allen because Allen is all too willing to grapple usually. I was wrong. And Allen, in my opinion, took a clean sweep, but one judge gave it a 29-28 for Rinaldi, but cool.
Judges were kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I know.
tonight.
They were really weird. Jack Marshman fled the military to fight John Phillips and win by a split decision in a bad fight. Claudio Silva, do you guys know that he beat Leon Edwards and then took off 4 years or something like that from injuries exclusively?
Is this
out for 4 years due to injuries and then comes back at 36 and is now on a 4-fight. He's on a 4-fight UFC win streak. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's 13-1. His only loss was due to a DQ for an illegal elbow.
Yeah.
In 2007.
Is he the guy that got the verbal tap out?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I did watch that fight.
Yeah. It's whatever. I'm curious. The audio is shit, so I'd have to I'm curious.
No, he makes the sound. He was interviewed. He does not deny that he made the squeal Rah! And that's when it got stopped. And I think that, I think he was already escaping the armbar by then. But I think that referees actually tell people, if I hear you scream, I am going to stop the fight before even the thing happens, right? Before the fight, they are always instructed like this.
I mean, that's the way it should be. After this fight, we're going to really get into the meat of the potatoes of the card. We're going to go from the main event down.
Yeah, because I did watch this fight, by the way.
Okay, so we'll go from the top down. But just as a reference point, a verbal submission is any sort of, if you are put in a submission and you react by yelling, it is a submission, whether you like it or not.
I have no problem with that.
That's just the way it is, because a referee is not going to assume that you're fine because you yelled out surprise. So just as a personal anecdote, I was in a jiu-jitsu match and I reacted. It was in an in-house tournament, so it was like a very informal thing. And, we were kind of all joking around a lot. It wasn't too serious, but this guy basically just did a move that should not be possible. He should not physically be able to sweep me from that position. And
wait, what did you do? I'm curious now. Tell me what you did.
There's video footage of it. I'll show
you. I don't give a shit. Just tell me.
He literally just moved me. Like, he took a human and moved the human in a way that
well, clearly it was physically possible because
because he's that goddamn strong. And I reacted by going, "What the fuck?" Audibly. So the guy's like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just reacting to whatever the fuck this nonsense was." And the guy I think he said he's Dominican, so he doesn't really just confused. It was ridiculous. I'll show you guys later. I'll send the link to the match.
Just confused. You verbally tapped a violation of the laws of physics.
Correct. There's exactly. So that was an informal tournament in a UFC cage, the octagon, whatever. That's gonna get a stoppage from any referee in any fight. So that's what happened.
That's fair. I'm okay with it.
So let's talk about it. We're gonna first just talk really quickly, I think, about the controversy from Masvidal Till. I look at it like this. We had Leon Edwards, who won his fight versus Gunnar Nelson. He's trying to call out the winner of the fight. He crashes the backstage interview. He's doing what the UFC wants. What does that mean? The UFC wants controversy. They want confrontation. They want all this crap. There are security guards There are literally dozens of people in the room. There's cameras. There's people. There's all of this crap. There is no chance Leon Edwards is going to actually fight George Masvidal there. Masvidal, who claims that I don't like this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Fine. That's cool. I understand.
That's not exactly what he said.
No. He doesn't like how people try to make names off of each other through confrontation and this nonsense trash talk. He doesn't like that shit.
Yeah. But it's even more it's even more absurd like that, because I'm going to read you exactly the statement that he gave.
After or before? Because he talked about it
after.
Oh,
after.
That's what I'm trying to explain. He did something before. He did an interview like before that too. So go ahead though.
No, I'm going to read you because this is what triggered it, which is, by the way, a lie, because I looked at the footage.
Go ahead.
He says he's one of the hooligans, man. He's like talking crap on social media. I seen him here. Doesn't really address me as a man. I wanted to talk to him, kinda, and he's just like dodging me and like whatever. We can handle it after the fight. So I'm doing my interview, and this hooligan comes by saying stuff. You lie. You'll get your ass kicked. You lie. Or you lie. And I go, maybe, bro, whatever, because maybe I want to kick your ass in April. Maybe I don't want to wait until July. Maybe I don't even want to fight you in a prize ring because you're not worth a training camp. I'll just fight you right here because you're a scrub. Pause. Like, that's just complete nonsense, right? Like, that's just like macho posturing bullshit. But then comes the good stuff. And then it's like, so I tell him to just say to my face, like, a man, you are saying it, walking away. That's not like we're both men, you know? And as I'm walking up to him, I got my hands behind my back to signal I'm coming here, not coming here for problems. But he puts his hands up. This is a lie. Like with both fists up, and he walks toward me. This is not true. I watched it multiple times. He has his hands low by then. Where I am from, like this bullshit, like classic. Well, where I am from, if you that, you're gonna punch me in the face, and that's not gonna happen. You're a fucking dork. You're a JB beta, and you're what you are, bro. You're a loser in life, man. You're not gonna get a hit off me. So I had to give him a 3-piece with a soda, and then just glide out of there.
What the fuck? A 3-piece with a soda?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's interesting.
I saw that comment too. First of all, he straight up lied. Leon Edwards literally did not put up his hands until Masvidal was in his face, and
I know. I was
no longer behind his back by the time he.
No, like.
Well, but that's how confrontations usually go when people are looking for a fight. They don't immediately throw a punch. They walk up right into your grill, and then
Oh yeah.
You make a reaction, and then this is an excuse to fight.
Just for those who haven't watched it, what we're talking about is Masvidal sucker punching Leon Edwards. And yes, I'm calling it a sucker punch. A 3 sucker punch combo.
He saunters.
So he makes it seem like, oh, I'm just going over to talk or whatever. He's going over just to talk shit to his face, and then he fucking blasts him with a 3-punch combo and cuts him. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, he was looking for confrontation. I mean,
one of them was looking to fight.
It's not rare. It's not rare to see that.
Sorry. So, like I said, dozens of people in the room, cameras, security guards. Masvidal's claim is self-defense. Literally.
No, it's not. No, yeah, I know. You're right. No, I'm sorry.
His hands to fight. That is literally claiming I hit him because I was hitting him first. You don't put up your hands. You wanted to fight, therefore I'm fighting. That's what happened.
Yeah, legally he can say that. That's saying it right now because that's what he thinks in his mind, but that's dumb. Like,
of course, it's dumb. That's not the issue. So here's what I see: a lot of people defending the realness of George Masvidal, which is pathetic. Macho.
That's funny to me.
Pathetic macho. Listen, he walked over to somebody who the UFC pushes this kind of stuff. Go make confrontations and make videos, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
I'm going to say something about that in a moment.
He's in the safest environment he could possibly be. He is literally getting interviewed in the back of a UFC event with security everywhere. If he felt threatened in the slightest way, all he has to do is say, yo, back the fuck off and get security there. Like, that's all he has to do. He didn't have to do anything. He engaged in a confrontation and chose to throw the first strike. This is not a self-defense situation. And I saw a ton of people who I respect and like online saying, I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal. Or straight up saying, well, this was a self-defense situation. or making
No, they're idiots.
false equivalencies that are you saying that you should never hit first in a self-defense situation? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. No, I fucking taught self-defense for a bunch of years already. I know exactly what it means to be in a situation where you hit first. Okay, I know those situations exist. This was not one of them. If Masvidal felt threatened in any way, he had plenty of security to get over there and to stop this situation. He didn't have to walk up and literally blast Leon Edwards with a three-piece combo. We've seen shit like this end careers or seriously alter them. Okay?
It's especially
Google
stupid,
Richard
especially
Grant and James Butler and see what can happen when a person who's not expecting to be hit gets hit after a fight. Okay, the guy broke his jaw, had 26 stitches, broken teeth, concussion, all this shit. No, this is bullshit. And people defending it just because nothing did happen that seriously alters Leon Edwards' career, or Leon Edwards is not pressing charges, are fucking are fucking making excuses. That is nonsense. So honestly, if you are defending this nonsense because you think it's cool or it's weird or it's real, fuck you. If you're defending it because you just can't get upset that a fighter acted like an idiot and just whatever, and there's really, I'm not so upset because Leon Edwards talked shit or, oh, he put his hands up. Bullshit. Okay, so every single fighter who puts his hands up in a UFC promotional setting in one of these like stupid confrontations should expect to get punched in the face. What's going to happen? Are you not going to complain? Are you going to be fine with it when somebody does get seriously hurt? And I hear these bullshit like, oh, they're fighters, they're fine. No, they're a civilian. They are fighters. They are professional fighters. Meaning when they sign a contract to get in the cage with you, yeah, what happens in the cage? Fine. This is not in the cage. This is backstage. Leon Edwards is not expecting to get fucking three-pieced with a soda.
Yeah, no, look, I have thoughts on that. The thing is that there's like this sort of granular level of understanding about this sort of thing because people are looking at it in sort of empathetic terms, right? Empathy, like they're not moving beyond that because in terms of empathy, what I mean is that do you give a shit about this person or do you not? And does that color your understanding of what is right and what is wrong? We see Masvidal sauntering this his way, like he's like even he has like a pep to his step, right? But he's expecting a confrontation. This idea that it is self-defense, I don't know that he can keep it up for long, but that's kind of what he's going with it, which is dumb. But what I'm going to say, it may sound a bit controversial, and maybe you won't like it, but because it's callous, right? It's callous, but people are entitled to be callous. You can say, I don't care, right? Or this doesn't really move me in any significant way. Because what I said before was I saw a guy willing to open his mouth, and I saw a guy willing to do more than open his mouth, right? Like he's willing to take action. Like that's like the most simple base level understanding of what happened. But as I said, there's this sort of a granular scale, right? And it becomes more complex as you go up. And so there's people that started making the argument, the tough guy posturing bullshit, like, well, where I'm from, but literally, Masvidal is not where he's from. It's where the other guy is from. He's in another country. He's acting like an idiot. There's this naive, like, almost romantic sense of macho, tough posturing bullshit that seems to be everywhere. And it's in, like, Masvidal's head, right? That you can become a liability, and it's okay so long as you have this feeling of empowerment in your head, because he's talking about being a man and manhood and
macho.
Like, yeah, literally. But it's this sort of, again, this is not very naive understanding of like what being a man is. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, because really what he's saying is I caught feelings because something he wrote on the internet. Then he was walking.
You feel bad.
Yeah, and then he says he walked past me, and then he said things like his words that are at fault since they came out of him. Then the guy's not a victim. Like, I am the one that has been wrong. I am the one that has, like, something has been done to me, and I'm just laughing at it. And just people, yes. No, go on, Bilal.
No, I was gonna say we kind of touched on this in the like aftermath of Khabib Conor, because like fine. The UFC pushes this fake confrontational stuff there to get people thinking, they actually have some beef going on between the two. It's personal now and whatever. But like, some people aren't about that. Well, their background isn't really about that life. Their background's like, they, like what you said there, they get their feelings hurt and then they want to escalate.
Yeah, and that's what's
So
so
like,
funny about it.
yeah, but that's kind of inevitable with the current marketing strategy where they want everyone to trash talk constantly. Because
I mean, we could definitely.
we said the same thing before. Like, sooner or later, you're gonna find a guy who's not really about the trash talk game, and when that happens, then we it's either they don't say anything at all, like Benel Dariush, or this. So
Yes, and it is good that you bring that argument, but it leads me to what I wanted to say also, that to some degree, the UFC expects something like this to happen, because I'm going to when I was watching Dave Shaw, he says that they have procedures for this, and he proceeded to outline them. And what he says is that they separate the camps and they place them in separate locations, right? And he said, like, this is so funny to me. He said, this event underscores the high quality level of our security team. And then he says, our global security team led by Steve Reed is an extremely capable bunch. Like, so they have something for this, designed for this, and somehow they cannot seem to keep it from happening. And then
soon as you said like high quality security, I was like,
it's like, no, dude, like your friend Steve Reed, you need to get a new friend. And then there's like this thing when they were asked whether they were going to whether he was going to face disciplinary action, Masvidal, we know the UFC, when they were trying to market themselves so that they may be bought by people, they were marketing themselves to somebody in, I think, like the Gulf countries. Then there was like China, and then WME IMG won, right, the bid. But back then they were all PC and shit. They even had this code of conduct that you could not behave this way. So I remember that they fined Nate Diaz like $10,000 for using the F word, the slur for gay people. I think in English in general, right? $10,000. And here, when Dave Shaw was asked about what was going to be done, he said that, we don't know. We have to review what happened. And then he said, and I quote you, I am sure as things progress, we will feel pretty confident about next steps. That is what he said. Like,
literally means nothing. But
I know, like we have a word for that. It's called cantinflear in Spanish, right? And it means to speak without saying anything.
That's great.
That's amazing that I am watching this guy just bullshit his way through this idea. Like, it's just nonsense. Like, people are, I'm going to say it, some MMA fans live carefully through this shit, so they don't think twice about when something like this happens. But all of this, like, build up, like all these beefs or whatever, like, that's for softies. Like, that's for people that want to feel this vicarious release through the violence of somebody else, because it's like, where I am from, like, what are you gonna do? Like, a lot of shit happens to where people are from, Like, if people are getting fucking beheaded where I'm from, I'm not gonna go behead people. You're crazy. I'm not gonna burn people. Like,
all right,
that's so ridiculous.
Alejandro, we got to move on. Let's talk about the actual fight and what happened in it.
Yes.
All right, Masvidal. Okay, so
the actual fight.
This was a tale of two fights, kind of like
What we said would happen happened. It's a funny thing. Both things.
What? Yes.
What you said would happen and what I said would happen. It was a linear combination of the two things that happened.
Correct. Like, we saw everything Till had in the span of 8 minutes, and we saw pretty much everything Masvidal has in 8 minutes, right? Like,
including the offensive grappling I mentioned.
Correct. The brief instances of it, but it was definitely interesting to watch, and I really was interested in how well he was able to. Till did not look comfortable in the clinch against the cage. When Masvidal had those double underhooks, Till looked visibly confused by his strength and control.
Yes.
like visibly confused, because he felt Tyron Woodley in the clinch, and he looked less concerned there than he did versus Masvidal.
Maybe he was getting flashbacks.
Well,
no, I think it was.
I'm saying I think he was just surprised by how effective Masvidal was being with his wrestling.
Yeah, because as we mentioned, like he has I mentioned that he was going to rely on offensive wrestling, and he kind of did that in order to sort of offset the guy. Like he wasn't trying to look for a takedown necessarily, no, to look for a submission, but he was trying to offset him. Like you could see that Till kept being reset every time he was trying something, and when he went into the clinch to actually work something, like the fact that Masvidal is so fucking technical in there, like he was sort of like unsure of what to do. He kept resetting in his head, and Masvidal is, he's probably the most well-rounded fighter alive today.
At this point, I would say, yeah.
I mean, not the best, but the most well-rounded.
Not the best, but he's up there as the most well-rounded. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone offhand, but maybe DJ might be more well-rounded.
Yeah, only DJ, I would say, but generally, like Masvidal hustled his areas covered, like.
Right,
it was like
except for defense, I would say.
No, his defense was on point. Like he's not the best defensive.
Fine.
No, he was. Okay. He
got hit a lot.
Man. I know, but okay.
I'm a Ben here. Like Masvidal got, after the initial layer was passed and he leaned back, he got hit like almost immediately every single time.
He did well defensively, better than he usually does, I would say.
I know, but keep in mind what I'm trying to say. He was put against the cage, and he was being fired upon, and he was dodging punches. But like having good defense is not necessarily not getting hit, but like trying to.
He wasn't getting hit clean when he got rocked. And
no. But look at it.
But also, Till is low volume also, so it's he's not going to get his defense drawn out really that much.
No, but he wasn't getting hurt in a decisive sense in a way that impaired him from continuing. Like I'm going to make an argument. Like yesterday, did you watch? I watched the closing round.
Guys, hold on 1 second. Daniel.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Okay, I'm just gonna argue with that. I'm just gonna argue with.
Say hi.
Hi, Daniel.
Okay, he's not saying hi.
Okay. Yes, no, like.
Grab the mic. He's trying to grab the mic. My wife does say hi.
Hola, Rizzi. Hi.
Hey, Rizzi.
He's got an ear infection again. We're sad.
Oh no. Yeah.
He grew his teeth. He's got SpongeBob teeth, like those two upper teeth that have a big hole in the middle.
Good, bite pen now on the ankle.
Of course, Bilal says good, bite pen.
Okay, so as I was saying, like good defense is not necessarily that you do not get hit; it's that you mitigate the damage.
I would agree if he wasn't getting hurt.
I know, but look who he's fighting. He's a guy that has length on him, strength on him, and size on him. So you have to grade it on those terms.
But Masvidal, I don't know. I mean, he got hit by almost half of Till's strikes, man. Like.
I know, but what I'm saying is like 80%
of the strikes were to his head.
I know, but he still remained in there. He still did enough to allow him to perform at a sort of base level throughout the whole fight until he uncorked that left hand. That's my point. Like,
so what you're saying is his defense was good enough.
Yeah,
we understand that. We're saying
that's good. No, but what I'm saying is that for MMA levels, like, do not have that's a good defense because it means that you're not collapsing. Like when you are put under pressure, you have tools that allow you to stay in the fight and eventually win it if you did it right. Like that's good defense. Like maybe it's not like an entire defensive game, but it's a set of defensive moves that allows you to keep working.
I think good defense is something Robbie Lawler exhibits, not George Masvidal surviving Darren Till's onslaught.
But he was, but again, look what he was being faced with.
But again, I would say that, but we've seen fighters get faced with similar things, and Bohan Velichkovic survived getting knocked down by Darren Till. Does that mean he has good defense? No.
No, but that's the first round. In the second round, it was entirely different. He wasn't getting blasted. Like he was in there, he was responding with shots, and he was aware the whole time. So whatever it was that he was getting hit with, it wasn't keeping him from working.
I think
Like
that was,
to the level
but that's not true. He got
That's
hit with
because
50% of the strikes. He got
no,
hit with,
also like
he actually got hit at a higher rate percentage-wise than he got hit in the first round in the second round. He was just doing a better job offensively in particular, I would say. And he was making Till uncomfortable by countering, not even necessarily countering, because he caught him with like a couple good counters, but he also got cracked before he landed those counters.
oh god damn it, stealing my point. But yeah, I was about to say that. Also. He just started countering every time got hit, and
it's not like he was it's not like he was Robbie Lawler, rolling with the punches and then coming back. So the punches weren't really landing clean and stuff like that. No, they were landing clean. Masvidal just ate them and threw back because Till stands straight up with his chin in the air and is there to be hit. And he just
I don't know that they really like. I need no. Wait, I think I need to rewatch the fight because I don't think that Till landed as cleanly as you're saying. Like he didn't land his power shots. That when he landed a power shot,
he snapped his head back off the time.
Listen, this is the first time we've ever seen Darren Till use a jab effectively. I think that's a problem that was against George Masvidal. He literally was popping him in the head with jabs with no effort. He didn't have
Somehow I missed that because
he threw like
the jab that I saw from Till,
all of them landed.
But they were not good jabs. They were just like
they weren't good. They weren't good, and he got hit.
That's our point. Like
no. But by good jab,
and they were literally just like pop, 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 pop. Jake Shields bapped him.
That's not a good measure. I wouldn't use that as a metric.
I'm making fun of the fact that he basically threw it's like he literally just learned the jab and it's like, I'm gonna jab in this fight, and like he's like, oh my god, this shit works. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work. It's only working because George Masvidal is just watching you hit him.
Yes, but you need to, what I'm saying is that you need to grade it in terms of what gets done. Like maybe the technique isn't quite there, but the management is. Especially when, again, like when Darren Till is.
I see what you're saying there. You're basically saying he was able. He used whatever defense he did use was enough to be able to.
Yes, and when we are using it, like for example, I was going to make the argument before I was unduly interrupted of Mickey Garcia versus Errol Spence, which happened just yesterday, and Mickey Garcia got his ass beat.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he didn't stand a chance, but his defensive skill was such to the extent that he was
able to survive.
Yes, that it allowed him. Like you could clearly see that he couldn't hurt Spence, right?
Didn't he come up? But came up 2 weight classes. That was like
yes. But when your defensive skill allows you to stay in there, even though you're taking punishment, and allows you to work, like in the case of Masvidal, it allows you to end someone in the night, but. Remember, Masvidal is really coming up a weight class here.
No, he's not. He did not look outsized versus a lot of the welterweights he's faced so far. I'm sorry.
No, because a lot of the welterweights
significantly outsized. I'm sorry.
No. But I know, but he's outsized. What? No, also
is he?
Still has a triple weight. No. Wait. Okay. Masvidal is actually the size of a large lightweight.
I disagree.
I would say he is.
I disagree.
You think he's larger than that?
I think. I think he would be on par size-wise with Lawler.
I'm not sure. Remember, Masvidal used to fight at lightweight.
He's 5'11".
Masvidal. So
I'm saying
no, but Lawler is thick.
Lawler's a little he's more thickly muscled. I wouldn't say he's Masvidal.
No, I don't mean like I don't mean built like a tank, but like
listen. Can we stop talking about Lawler in a way that can honestly describe his penis?
What?
Wait,
how did we get here?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
No, you mentioned something.
I said nothing. Did
you hear what I heard, Bilal?
No, you're hearing shit.
I heard nothing. I just heard him talking about how big Masvidal is.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you?
And vascular.
What's your problem, Alejandro? You got weird.
No. This has been recorded, by the way.
I can cut it out.
How did we get here?
What I want to specifically point out is a lot of fighters, right? Specifically, I look for certain thickness in the core. Right, Masvidal has that thickness in his core. He doesn't look heavily muscled, but where that
I agree.
is coming from is that core strength. You can tell Till, right, is big, right? He's very, very tall. He's lanky. We know he's a huge welterweight. But if you look
he's
at the
shriveled
thickness of his body, he's not thick in the core at all. He's
because he's shriveled,
monotone in his body size. Like it's just straight. Masvidal, his stomach, he's not fat. He's just thick, right? It's like when you see a pro bodybuilder, he's probably got like a 38-inch waist, but it's sporting a 90-pack, you know? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a thickness of the core. And
okay. Well, I agree, but if we're comparing sizes, like Robbie Lawler is thick everywhere. Masvidal is thick in the core.
Not. That's the thing. Robbie Lawler's thickness.
Have you seen his wrists or like his calves?
Look at his core. He's actually quite trim.
That's just because his chest is so big that makes his core look smaller.
It's
like
possible.
No, but remember, Robbie Lawler used to fight at 185.
But he was really undersized.
He knocked Melvin Manhoef the fuck out.
Who the fuck?
Like that? Hey, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
But I'm right.
No, but he's old. No,
like 40 times.
No, the specter of Melvin Manhoef is not the same as Melvin Manhoef. Melvin Manhoef was kicking his ass.
But he does that in every fight.
I know, but my point is that if you can survive Melvin Manhoef's onslaught, and he did, and still KO him, there is something to your physical makeup that is not like other people's.
Listen, Melvin Manhoef has been knocked out multiple times by the time he fought Robbie.
No, but my point is that he survived the attack. You know who did not survive that attack? Mark Hunt did not survive that attack. That's the kind of thickness that we're talking about. Like, I don't think it's even in the same realm of thick. How are we discussing thickness now?
A lot of people.
No. Like, there's a difference between Jorge Masvidal, who's coming up from lightweight, who was a career lightweight, who is not necessarily even the largest lightweight you can have. Shit, like we have Sabit Magomedsharipov, who is making featherweight. That dude could be larger than Masvidal even.
No, I disagree. He's much less. His muscle structure matters. You got to take into account the body structure. It's not just.
I concede that. I'm just I know. No, but let him hear.
Till's reach is virtually the same as Darren Till's, and Darren Till is 3 inches taller than him. Darren Till's a 74.5-inch reach.
Who?
Masvidal's a 74-inch reach.
That's fucking insane.
That's my point. Like you're saying, he's undersized, but realistically,
no. There's a difference between size and proportion. There is a difference between size and proportion.
Is not small. He is an average size welterweight. The largest are average size welterweights.
Okay, can both of you just get back onto talking about the fight?
Yes.
No, we must speak dimensions of fighters.
I agree. Okay. We kind of touched on everything. I think Darren Till needs to move up to middleweight. I mean, I'm not really
I do. Sure. I agree.
What else was there to say from the fight technically? Like, what did we see? We saw both of them hit pretty easily by the other.
We saw that Darren Till doesn't know how to counter.
Darren Till has zero clue how to counter, and if he get inside of his range, he has no clue how to react because his reaction to closing distance was horrible.
Yes, he has.
He also has like a shit jab. I think because he's so concerned about moving his feet to get out of the way for the turn, that he just kind of pops his arm out without really stepping into it, and then he's backing out again. But if you like what Roy did was he just followed the jab back, and when he was able to track Till down, it's like Till's head is just online there anyway. He just track his footwork, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what actually troubled me was that a lot of the time what Darren Till was doing is that he was touching his way in order to fill distance, and the way that he would try to keep distance was literally by keeping his arm outstretched and trying to push Masvidal away, or just to get an awareness of where he was, and that was troubling because that shouldn't happen. Like, that shouldn't be your first resource in order to like get an idea of like the distance between you and your opponent. And like, he's not pawing with a jab. He's not like trying to like feint and then throw a punch. Like, he's not doing anything of that sort. He's like literally trying to touch his way into distance awareness, and that's troubling. Like that seems like that a bad habit. Yeah, no, it seems to me like
No, I
that's
like it's not that uncommon in Muay Thai or especially with
I
long
know,
guards.
but I
It's
know,
that
but I know, I know.
he lacks an offensive clinch and he doesn't use his kicks all that much. So it's like
No, but
the extra tools needed to make that work optimally
I
aren't
know.
I
there.
just want to
But,
make
but
one point before we go on.
yes,
I think
go.
that if we see Till stop cutting weight, we might see some significant changes to his game if he.
That is my argument. That is,
Yeah.
Dude,
no,
he looked
no,
so
Ben,
jazzed already in the second
no,
round.
but Ben
Yeah,
has
but he's not even, he doesn't even have normal welterweight speed. If he moves up, he's not going to be the fastest middleweight.
Right, but at least he'll be able to
And-
throw without getting
so,
tired.
but he's
Yeah,
so
but
dehydrated.
people will match his range, which will make his bad defense worse defense.
Yeah, but let me say something, and then you can disagree. I think that he had like this idea that again he's reaching to touch you. Like there is nothing more behind that. Like you mentioned the knees, you mentioned whatever. Like there's nothing more behind that. He's literally trying to touch these shorter people, and he has developed these bad habits. And since and if he moved up in weight, he would be forced to develop some actual tools other than just touching people, like using his reach. Like he's like using the Struve, the Stefan Struve game of like, I don't know how to fight tall, but I'm gonna do tall things anyway.
He fights tall. He doesn't fight long.
Yeah,
At least not well. He tries to fight long, but in reality, he just fights tall and awkward.
Yeah, and that's a problem that I think that it is like you say that is getting in the way of his technical development. Like we have discussed fighters that because they are not in with the appropriate weight class, they cannot develop technically because they fall into this trap of doing only the things that work against this opposition that they're considerably smaller than them, and so they sort of end in this technical rut and they never come out of it, and that's what could be potentially happening to Darren Till. Like he has like a game that he could develop. You can see like he's just 24 years old. He has time. The problem is that he's getting a ton of damage, and he just got badly slapped in this fight. So it's worrying. Like he cannot take the kind of shot. Like okay, he doesn't have the best chin, but he could take that shot at middleweight. Maybe he gets rocked. Right?
I mean, it was a leaping left hook. I don't know many people who could take that period.
Yeah, that's true. Like
and he was off balance. He was squared up.
I know, but his brain feels shriveled, right?
I think that shot knocks out most people. It definitely knocks him down at middleweight, even if he's rehydrated and all that, just because of how clean the shot was.
I know, but my point is that he doesn't need to be taking these kinds of shots with his shriveled brain like this. He's completely dehydrated. Like there's already research done that says that 24 hours is not enough to rehydrate properly.
I agree with you 100%. I'm saying that the shot itself, I don't think it's one of those shots where it's like, wow, he didn't really clip him that hard. It looks like
it was a perfect shot. Like it literally like just it hit the top of his chin,
right?
In the way that you actually apply like proper rotational torque there. Like it was horrifying. Like I wouldn't want.
It's not even just about torque. Like he was leaping. His entire body weight was in that momentum of the punch.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just speaking speaking about the point of contact, like the kind of rotation that it created. Like that's very rare.
Any other comments?
Oh yeah.
The what we saw in the fight.
I like Darren Till when he's going forward. Like I like what he has.
Oh yeah, he looked like shit moving back.
Yeah.
Well, it's another thing. Also, it's kind of
look good going back. Honestly.
Well, neither of them. But I just want to say, like, one thing that I kind of realized in this fight that's I couldn't really verbalize it before, but it's bothered me about Till, is that he fights best moving forward, but his pivots are better suited for fighting on the outside. So what he'd usually do is pressure someone to the fence, and then he'd pot in a shot, pivot out quickly, and then time them as they try to make up the space, right? But
Right.
if you pressure him, it falls apart. So
Because he doesn't
his
actually
footwork,
have any tools past that initial line.
yeah, but like his footwork is best suited for him to pull a Stephen Thompson and kind of dance around and then pivot out and have you run into shots repeatedly. But
Yeah.
because he's so reliant on pressure, like it doesn't line up because he'll pressure the defense, but he won't really swarm on you that badly because he wants to pivot out, right? And when he does pivot out, he has it one shot, and that's about it because he's
You
now
know what?
exiting range.
Can I say one thing? Then we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
If Darren Till wants to stay at welterweight, the person he needs to train with is Anthony Johnson.
Cordero.
No,
What?
Anthony Johnson.
If he wants to have this style where he pressures but counters or has you run onto his shots,
Anthony Johnson, who is he?
Rumble.
No, you forgot the former welterweight.
Wait, you need hoofed?
No, not hoofed. I'm talking about he should imitate the style Rumble used.
Oh,
Hoofed
I know. I thought, yeah.
No, but
That's
Hoofed
what
is
I'm
also
thinking.
quite good for that. Hoofed is a legit striking coach.
Might actually be. I can't believe I'm saying this. Hoof might be a good fit for Darren Till.
No, you know what? You know where he should go. The
No,
best
he's
ever.
not going AKA. These are not. Leave alone. All right, moving on. We're going to talk about the co-main event. Leon Edwards defeated Gunnar Nelson. I don't know how anybody scored that fight for Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah,
But-
that was very confusing.
Leon Edwards.
No, it wasn't.
too.
Like, I told you all in our chat while we were watching it. Okay, except Ben because he was doing some, I don't know what he's wasting his life on. Probably like growing Daniel's teeth out.
Wow. Okay. Move on.
Okay, but like I was telling Alejandro and the others last night there that Edwards is kind of it's a tough matchup for Nelson. Even not even in hindsight. I'm just talking about going in because Nelson he fights like you'd expect a good wrestle boxer to fight, but he doesn't have that deep wrestling game. So like he'll set a distance, kind of jump in and out to strike with his right hand, right? And then when you try to come back at him, he'll level change. But now, his actual wrestling skills aren't that good that he can just jump in on a takedown, and he's not that active in the clinch in any case. So like, if you have either one of those areas, you can just fight in there. And that's kind of what happened.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
no, I mean, he's
That didn't really say. That doesn't really change what we said about the split sucking.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not even talking about that. I just want to rub it in
What I
Alejandro's
would
face.
say is I was really impressed with certain things that Leon Edwards talked. That it's interesting. Leon Edwards literally said like he doesn't protect himself in the clinch off the breaks, and that's where Leon Edwards did.
he retreats with his hands down.
That was really good, and that actually is something that I really like to see a fighter talk about. Here's their opponent's weaknesses. Here's what we're going to exploit, and then literally exploiting that exact weakness in the fight.
But did
Just
he
like
say
just like DC versus Stipe.
commentator?
Correct. Yes, that pains me to say that, but yes, I do think that we did see the limitations of Edwards, though. I do think we did see that. Like, Gunnar is really good on those explosive shots, but man, you put Usman or Woodley or even Covington in those that deep on takedown attempts, Edwards is going to be on his ass.
Well, yeah, he fought Usman before and lost.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like since then he's gone on a 7-fight win streak, but he's
but
see that problem. You
Well,
know
the
what I mean?
thing
I mean,
is better than
it's a problem with most native MMA fighters
Yes,
because they'll get well rounded across the board, but like you need to be deep in a certain skill set and be able to force an opponent to fight there.
I think
because-
that's why we see like remember like the idea that the wave of people who grow up training MMA are going to be the ones who are going to be the best, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I think that helps.
I think
That
that's what
helps.
Rory, right? Like that was when that
Yeah.
idea was really floating
Yeah,
around,
yeah, yeah.
and we just haven't seen that because the reality is that if you're an awesome MMA fighter, that's great, and you're well rounded and great, but you're just never going to be like if you have a specialist who also learns, is good enough and athletic enough to pick up the skills in the other areas, they're still going to be able to beat you in that specific area, and that's where we see them run into those issues.
Yeah, it's interesting that
Also, Rory was a lot more striking focused towards the end of, well, not current Rory with a broken nose, but his initial title run was very striking heavy.
That's true.
So he was sort of drifting towards being a specialist before, obviously, his nose got amputated.
Right, and we should also point out that that's amazing. We should also point out that most people who start in MMA because they never had any sort of background are usually not the best athletes, because the best athletes in combat sports tend to have backgrounds in combat sports because they're athletic talents and they get wrestling backgrounds, judo backgrounds, striking backgrounds, stuff like they have that already because of their athletic talents. Leon Edwards is a fantastic athlete, but I wouldn't say he's the best. He's elite compared to Usman or Woodley or.
No. He's a bit behind the curve. But
I just want to say something also. Is that especially with the US's wrestling program, it seems that fighters who end up specialists are coincidentally the same ones who start picking up those skills at a very early age.
No,
and by then they're in the strength and conditioning program already, so they're being geared towards it. Whereas a lot of native MMA fighters, I mean, they might stay in shape growing up, but they only really join a gym maybe in their late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And the strength and conditioning programs aren't the same.
No, what I will say is that we're seeing is the difference between subsidization and not having that to fall back on, because the people that we're seeing that are coming out of strong athletic backgrounds, it's usually either because they started really, really young on it, like Stephen Thompson, or they're wrestlers or taekwondo, whatever you call them, taekwondo-y, we call them here, or they are boxers, or they're this or this, they're that, but they come from strongly subsidized backgrounds. Those sports have been subsidized. So unless you actually start, in my opinion, this idea that, if you grow up doing this and this and that, okay. But unless you actually start investing government money on this, on children learning mixed martial arts, and then they're gonna gravitate to whatever sport they're gonna gravitate, to specialize, because that seems to always happen. Anyways, unless you start seeing that, I don't think that we can say that, the approach of growing up doing mixed martial arts doesn't work. No, you need subsidization. You need to have a program that is going to put millions of dollars a year on this one thing across the country, and then we can say that it didn't work. I know that Rogan oversold it, right? Because the economics of how you grow sports are also really important if we're going to make these comparisons. But I do think that we're going to stay for a long time in this era of hyper specialists, or just hyper specialists that got so good at everything that they can force their specialty on other people.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I actually prefer it because I dislike the current, bland MMA kickboxing style.
I know, but it did give that sort of blandness.
It's so boring and lacking personality.
I know that sort of blandness. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll talk afterwards, and then we're gonna move on, because I think
just one last thing.
I think we could just talk about just quickly Leon Edwards versus Masvidal, how we think that fight would go.
That blandness gave us fun fighters not I was going to say Eddie Alvarez, but he's kind of like a brawler now. And I was going to say Justin Gaethje, but he's kind of like a brawler now. It gave us Dustin Poirier. It gave us Jorge Masvidal.
Are you going to say? No, hold on a second. I love Poirier. He's not bland.
No. What I'm saying.
No. I wasn't talking. No, the thing with the thing with guys
let me talk.
Can I say something?
No, you cannot. Let me finish. No, what I mean, the blandness is what I'm referring to, the blandness of MMA, of people growing up doing MMA, is that the non-subsidized nature of their upbringing in their athletic endeavors. I understand that you're not going to get the lady equivalent of the lady equivalent. No, she's lady. No, the Tatiana Suarez of boxing for example, just with growing up without a subsidized program, because Tatiana Suarez is a product of a subsidized program at the end of the day, and starting young, at private wrestling classes and shit. But it has given us fun fights, is what I'm saying. Like this blandness of MMA, of this sort of a notion that you cannot become too great at anything because you did not go through the meat grind. It's like athletic programs, but you still get good fighters. Like you still get Jorge Masvidal, you get Dustin Poirier, you get Robbie Lawler, you get Carlos Condit. Like you get fun fighters. At the very least, we can say that.
Okay, first of all, those fighters were turned into specialists by their camps. Like Dustin Poirier, for instance, right? Well-rounded across the board, all good, but his camp has turned him into a really strong pocket boxer.
Yes, but
Same with Robbie Lawler. Wait. Secondable. It took them a hell of a long time to actually get there. Like, Robbie Lawler went through a whole Cinderella story side arc before he became champ.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler had like a really long filler story arc for sure.
Yeah,
like
then he got back to the actual manga.
Like even ignoring the first point, even ignoring the first point, they are not in the majority of well-rounded fighters. They are in camps that push them to be specialists.
Robbie Lawler in general is longer than fucking the whole manga of Naruto. Like it's look like anime. Like it's just filled with things in the middle, and then there's like the actual arc episodes with Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler is currently in like the war arc. Like not currently, he already passed the war arc. Now he's in Boruto.
Yeah.
He went through a whole manga. He's now a whole new manga. He's like his own son.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler is like, if you want a more realistic portrayal of Rocky, just because like through the like no one cares about the majority of his career. It's like just shit, and then all of a sudden like he's champ
for like. They never. You know what's like crazy?
It's like
he suddenly becomes. It's not just that he has the awesome fights with Apollo Creed because whatever, and then they just leave it alone. No, he then wins the title and defends it 10 times straight. Like suddenly he lost 20. Just by the way, at one point they like show Rocky's record. I think in the 6th movie, he's like 56 or 58 and 24. Like when did he suddenly become an elite boxer who's beating the shit out of contenders?
When you get trained by a grizzled old man that calls you boy.
Yeah, it's not like that dude has ever raised a championship boxer. He's just your local club coach. Like what the fuck?
No, yeah, that is the winning sauce, Ben. But you really need fuck like all this strength and conditioning plyometrics and shit. You need Mickey, and that guy will make you a champion. Running after championship.
Or just get like a log cabin in the middle of a Russian tundra, and then like start doing everyday chores.
You do whatever the fuck Piotr Jan is.
They're not even just pulling rocks and shit. All right, let's do a quick breakdown.
Can I just say one last thing? Like, Robbie Lawler's career can best be summed up as someone playing Skyrim and then doing every side quest before actually hitting the main arc.
That is actually the perfect description. He's like an Elder Scrolls game.
That's fantastic.
Where it is just maxed out completely.
Yep. All right. Leon Edwards versus George Masvidal. How do we see that fight going?
That fight gonna happen? I think Masvidal wins.
In a cage. 3 rounds and 5 rounds.
Okay, so no soda.
No soda.
No. So I think Masvidal connects at least 2 of 6 3 pieces. No soda. And he stifles Edwards' attempts to take him down. And then he just forces this long, protracted stand-up exchange, and he wins with that.
I see it going as he starts the first round out very strong, hurts Leon Edwards, and then loses a decision.
Yeah, I think actually Masvidal loses the decision there.
Easy though, like that's kind of the thing though, that you never really know what you're gonna get with Jorge. You're gonna get like
Right. We're predicting.
No, well, if you push,
I don't know.
if you
I
push,
think that is fair.
if-
I'm saying
if-
that is a good thing. That is fair thing to say, that you can get like the Jorge Masvidal that just murdered Cerrone, right? Or you can get the Jorge Masvidal that is like, I'm just going to appreciate you. I'm going to look at you. I'm just going
No,
to
I
appreciate.
think Masvidal's going to come out really hard trying to finish this quickly, and I think he's going to be annoyed when Leon Edwards survives and then gets a takedown because Masvidal gets a little overzealous and then just grinds him out. And I think
Who have we seen grinding out Jorge Masvidal?
Maya, it doesn't have to be, by the way.
no, he doesn't even have to. He doesn't even have to grind him out. Like
Yeah. You could
the
just
story of Jorge Masvidal is he starts every fight really strong, right? If a guy gets hurt, then he'll put it on them. If a guy pushes him, he'll put it on them. If a guy is just kind of like, I'm just gonna try to rack up points, even though I clearly lost the first round, and see where this take me. Or he's like, okay, let's see where this goes, and
See what
loses
happens.
that decision.
No, I'm still picking Jorge Masvidal and his outdated version of masculinity. I think he still has enough to beat Leon Edwards.
No, but where I was going with this is like the question I think you should ask is, will Leon Edwards push Masvidal hard, or will
No,
he
I
get
don't
finished
think
in the
so.
first round?
I think
Because if he
see
does
Edwards-
neither,
No. I think
there's a
we'll see
strong
Edwards
possibility he
fight.
wins. If he does neither, then there's a strong possibility that Edwards wins a split decision.
I don't think it's going to be split. I think Edwards will actually take over as the fight goes on because I really think that Masvidal's strength is when he is just allowed to flow, and I don't think Edwards is going to give him that opportunity at all. I think Edwards
I don't
is
even
going to
think
take
it's-
away that flow.
I don't even think it's allowed to flow. I think he just needs to get it in his head that like, okay, I need to go hard with this guy.
But
Because
no,
if you're
but
pushing
even-
him, he wants to push. He usually tries to match you, right? So if you're pushing
right,
him hard,
but-
he tries to
but
push
still
back
can
hard.
have-
If he
but-
sees you might be able to get finished, he'll then try to push for that. If neither happens, but he's still winning initially, he's just kind of like, this is good enough. Let's mean mug the rest of the fight and see if the judges pick up
That's
on
the
that.
thing. Till wasn't pushing him hard. He was just pressuring sometimes.
No, he was landing clean almost at
he didn't
will. We
push.
discussed this earlier.
We've seen people.
Yeah, but
land clean on
Masvidal
him.
wanted to get that back.
Right, but again, I don't know. It doesn't always work that way with Masvidal.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
that's
don't know
true.
what worked with Jorge. Like Jorge is really strange. Like as a person, he's just really strange. Like it's hard to know what he will do then, because there are fighters that you can say he will always try to get him back, or he never, like for example Ross Pearson. Ross Pearson was
We're not going that far back. I'm sorry.
no.
We're not doing this.
No. I mean, as an example, I'm not talking about Jorge Masvidal.
There are
versus
better
Ross Pearson.
examples than Pearson also.
No, I know, but Ross Pearson was predictable. That's why he lost. Okay, no. Okay, my general point is that it's hard to know what Masvidal is thinking. Like,
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm predicting that he's going to have the exact same issues he's always had because he hasn't really shown any sort of difference. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm still picking him over Edwards. And you know what? Maybe we get to see this fight because the way the UFC.
I mean, they're going to see the fight. They're going to make the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what? Just one thing on that front. That idiot, what's his name? Ali Abdelaziz. He was saying that they should give Masvidal the shot next and forget about Covington. And Usman was like, sure, like on Twitter.
Yeah,
like
because he knows Masvidal's probably going to be a fight he can win pretty handily.
Nah, I mean Masvidal and Colby are like BFFs, so I don't know if he'll take it above
Is
Colby.
Colby represented? No, wait, that's the weird thing. Colby is nearly damn near got into a fight with Ali. Masvidal's represented by Ali. Masvidal and Colby are literally like best friends. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Oh, hold on one moment. Conspiracy time.
I don't represented by Ali. I don't think so. First round management, I think.
Oh, you're right. They're not. Oh, I thought you were saying like, well, it would make sense that Ali's trying to get two of his fighters to get title fights because he makes money off of each one of them.
No. Wait, Ali does not represent Masvidal.
I thought he represents him. My bad. Okay.
No, I don't. I think he's represented by first round management or something like that.
Okay.
Who cares? No. My point is that Ali Abdelaziz was saying something along the lines of, "Oh, don't give the title shot to Colby. He sucks. Let's give it to Jorge. He
Well,
just
that's
not
because he got into a fight with Colby, I guess.
No, I don't even want to talk about Ali. Like even Usman was trying to break up that fight between the two.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
know, it's
Like
ridiculous.
the only manager I know who, like imagines himself as this fighter.
I mean, what was
The real actual
He
fighters
is
are
a
like
fighter.
chill. Yeah, but like actual high level fighters are like chill. We'll do it in the cage, or like Khabib, we'll do it after the cage. But
what was Ali gonna do? They're like tap out again.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about him. Like
Have you seen his
All right,
record?
all right, we're gonna move on. Dominic Reyes had a fight with Volkan Oezdemir that he won by split decision.
Yes.
That is not a good. I think this is his prospect moment. I think this is his prospect growth moment. It's a fight that needed to happen, and it's good because I think that we're gonna not see him rushed into a title fight.
Yeah.
I think we'll hopefully see him learn from this because there were a lot of moments where I was like, man, this is some bad decision making. And you can't have bad decision making against Jones.
Yeah, but I also saw things that interested me in that he was able to see. I agree with what you're saying, but I also saw him detecting gaps and just exploiting them immediately.
I agree, definitely. I do think he also made some strategic mistakes. Like he Volkan Oezdemir is, despite what we saw against DC, where we saw him being able to fight off the back foot for like the first time ever, he's not good off the back foot. He can't keep that going for long, extensive periods. He's
not as consistent.
He's not a consistent fighter off the back foot, and yet we saw Reyes do a lot of his good work pushing Volkan back, right?
Mm-hmm.
He fought way too much off the back foot, and I think we saw that in the beginning. Like we saw, like, okay, I'm going to play the outfighter, I'm going to let him play. Fine, and he actually was doing okay in the beginning, and then Volkan just was like, yeah, I'm actually a better pressure fighter than you are an outfighter right now.
Yeah,
and he was able to win that first round, arguably win the fight.
Yeah,
I mean, like I
can see why Reyes won, but you can actually properly argue that he shouldn't have.
Correct. This is by no means a robbery. People claiming it's a robbery. Come on, stop it.
But do you remember why I picked Volkan?
No.
Yeah,
because light heavyweight sucks.
Because light heavyweight is weird, and you have these people that are a tad older, and they have some tricks up their sleeve.
Well, Volkan's not there. Volkan's not there.
I know. But my point is that shit gets weird above 185, and he does just enough. Like, I think that we started seeing him retreat a bit more because he felt that Oezdemir hits like a fucking truck, and even though he stayed composed, he did not stay composed enough that he risked doing what was working for him. So that's why he tried fighting off the back foot.
Right.
Also, I just want to say something. Like, in hindsight now, I think I get what Reyes was going for, because Oezdemir, at least against Smith, he kind of developed this, reputation as a guy who comes out hard and then gasses. And we saw it in this fight towards the end. So Reyes hit him with a lot of body shots. But the difference is that Oezdemir didn't go all that hard throughout the whole fight.
He actually really didn't.
Yeah, he was quite composed. So, like, even though the body shots were taking a toll and we could see a slowdown towards the end, it didn't come as fast.
And that's the problem, is that Reyes didn't have the tools to force Oezdemir. He's a Pokemon. Volkan Oezdemir. Go, I choose you, Oezdemir. No, he didn't have the tools to either force Oezdemir to push harder, or he didn't have the tools to force that body attack to work quicker. Right? Like, that was a long game strategy without the tools to enforce it and make it work better, properly.
No, also I think Oezdemir learned from his last loss a bit also,
which is interesting.
Because like before he was like, I'm gonna come out and just like boop you into like the prelims.
I love.
And now he's like,
I love his boops.
His
boops are great.
Like people kind of really don't realize the dude has 11 of 15 wins by knockout, and most of them are in the first round. He boops at people.
Yeah, don't fuck with that. I think that's why Reyes I think it was like his intro at some point, like, holy shit, this guy's boobs are so damn
and it's weird because he doesn't look like he hits hard, and he really does, and it's funny.
Yeah, no, like it looked like he broke Reyes' nose, I think in the first or second round.
Like you saw
and I couldn't tell which punch actually broke it because they don't look all that hard.
Listen, he is the boop to Jake Shields' BAP.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did, because there are those like people that are weird, like their bodies are weird. Because, for example, you see Gennady Golovkin, and you see when he punches people, like you're like, he doesn't look like he's punching people that hard. Like you compare him with someone like Julian Jackson, who was like an old-timey boxer.
Julian Glass Cannon.
Yeah, Julian Jackson. Yes. No, don't call him that. No, but when he hit people, it was like you could see him like move, and you could see the torque in his.
He used the proper form and also used his athleticism while doing so. So you saw like the power. You saw the power put into the punch. When
Golovkin touches you, it's just like boop, boop, boop. And then it's like this accumulation of boops that just fucks you up before you even notice it. And that it seems like Uzdemir has like a diminished version of that you don't quite know if he hit you hard, but he did hit you very, very hard.
Yeah. And usually in very short spaces.
So, extremely short. That's the thing.
We've been going for a while. We're running out of time, guys. I want to talk about Wood Quinones, and then.
Okay, let's talk about Wood.
No. First, I want to say, what do you guys see next for Reyes? Where do you see him at? I would personally like to see him take. He's fought how many fights in the UFC now? He's came in 2017. He's now had 5 fights since 2017.
Jimmy Manua.
I want to see.
I want to see him.
I don't think Manua is good. I would like to see him take 4 or 5 months off just to work on his game, because he's young.
That is true.
He's 29. He's not young in years, but he's young in his career. He's only been fighting since 2014. I would like to see him take 4 to 6 months just to train. Just train, work on his game, and then I would like to see him fight Jan. I think Jan.
Jan Blachowicz.
Jan Blachowicz. No, Jan Bilante.
No, Jan Blachowicz.
That's a big step down.
you want to get wins or not?
I want him to fight
Jan will give him a.
Correct. I think Jan will really test where he's at.
Yeah, like Jan is just, aside from the end sequence of the Santos fight, he's just like really solid and consistent, more so than Vulcan.
Until he might not have the power. Thiago Santos.
Yeah, like he might not have the power to back it up, but like he's consistent enough that'll make it a real prospect challenge.
Yeah.
Unless Reyes just also boops him out. But
Reyes doesn't boop. He
punches about as hard as John Jones punches, but he puts combinations together. So
whoa. No. Reyes has 1-punch power. Jones does not.
Well,
Jones has that Wing Chun thing where his mechanics don't seem all there.
No, but okay, I can see that. No, but I don't think he hits necessarily that hard. Like,
I mean, most of his by strikes are in the first round, so I disagree with you.
Like heavyweight.
No, Jones doesn't have first round knockouts.
You have a point there, but I just imagine that Jones hits hard enough. He just doesn't put them together. Like, he doesn't really hit you in combinations, if you notice.
I still disagree with that.
Reyes is rumble. I'm saying Reyes definitely has one-hitter quitter power, but it's not like God.
He hits as hard as Ryan Bader.
No, you know what? Okay, he is Kakashi in the war. He's Kakashi in the war.
He's harder than Bader.
Yeah,
he's harder than Bader.
He is Kakashi in the war arc level. He's like, he's not God tier like cute Naruto, but he's like, he is easily Kage level.
Yeah.
Who is Obito though? Who is his Obito?
Who's Obito has got to be.
I don't know. DC just disappearing to the alternate dimension of heavyweight.
Otherwise known as heavyweight. Yes, that's the Kamui dimension, heavyweight. All right, last fight we're going to discuss. We're going to talk about Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Quinones. Now, Wood is
sadness. Pure sadness. Wood sucks. I wish he loses.
Trained by Brad Pickett, and he certainly looks it. Man,
he's a much better athlete, though.
He's a better athlete. He's a better athlete. He hits harder. He's faster. He's more explosive.
He's just more everything.
Things I liked. His grappling looked really good. His striking was basic, but he clearly understands how to put his punches on people.
Yeah, it's basic in the best way possible.
Yes,
basically.
correct. 100%. My biggest issue, and we've seen it already now multiple times, he doesn't cut the cage off at all. He was following Quinones the entire fight. He was following him. Because Jose just really didn't have an answer, and he ate a lot of leg kicks.
Yeah, although that's kind of an issue in general at bantamweight and formally flyweight.
Weird. It's specifically a bantamweight thing. I feel like where everyone doesn't check leg kicks.
If you guys remember Brad Pickett did know how to cut the cage effectively at the end of his career, right?
Yeah, that's the problem though. Is that I don't want to see Wood wait until he's basically
no. But I know. But my point is that Pickett has already been there, and he's building like this sort of younger, better version of him. I think it's within the realm of possibility that Pickett will teach him how to cut the cage properly before he gets
fights into his career already.
Wait, how old is he? The prospect?
He's been fighting since 2012. He's already 7 years pro.
No, but it depends. It depends on the level of opposition and how worn he is. But
I mean, he's been choked a couple of times. He lost 2 by submission and 1 by TKO doctor stoppage.
All I know is that I got Wood.
Everyone got Wood after watching that. It was very impressive.
No, I wasn't. I was very sad. I got very sad.
His transition to the back and rear naked choke was really good.
Oh, it was awful. I hate him. I hope he loses next
time. I know. But it was against the jiu-jitsu guy, so that's even more impressive, I would say.
No, Quinones is not a jiu-jitsu guy.
He's a mustache guy.
Chest, man.
He's a mustache guy.
No, he's not a jiu-jitsu guy. You crazy.
He has it tattooed on his chest.
Because he likes jiu-jitsu. Why can't a man put a jiu-jitsu tattoo on his chest?
Okay, no, I have to agree with Alejandro. Yeah, I mean, you remember Vitor Belfort knocking out Wanderlei Silva with like a 100-punch combination and then shouting jiu-jitsu. It's like...
All right.
No, Quinones is more of an outstriker type person.
All right, I'll concede that. All right.
I know, his mustache was amazing. Okay, let's just talk about
you guys just real quick. Where do you see Wood going?
I see Wood going up, just rising.
I see it going down.
I'm feeding you Wood. Go take the Wood.
No, I won't take that Wood. I will be forever.
Stop being so macho, Alejandro. God, have a little Wood in your life.
Dude, where I am from,
where I'm from, we don't take the Wood. The Wood takes you.
Well, that's what happened to Quinones, so maybe. No, Quinones is where I'm from, so I like him. Did you know that he's from Tijuana? That I just recently checked like the list of the most violent cities in the world, and Mexico has like 4 or 5 of them. Like, and Tijuana was there, and Ensenada was there. Like, what the fuck? That's not the place I remember.
You didn't know that? Like Mexico?
No, that Ensenada was like a hardcore place. No, I didn't. I lived there.
I kind of get you because like I was surprised when I found out that like my home city of Cape Town has one of the highest murder rates in the world, and I was like, the fuck.
That's only because you weren't murdered. That's all.
Maybe, but like seriously, like the fuck, like. What? How did I survive? Like, I've been watching TV saying everyone dies in Mexico.
You guys have more murders than you have water.
Yeah, well, that's the trick. That's how you make sure you get the criminals. You just like dehydrate them out.
Oh shit!
It's funny because Bilal and I are kind of accustomed to like living in like
Murder
we call
capitals?
it murder gun.
All right.
But yeah, there's like just where shit happens. Like,
What do you? We gotta get back on topic. What do you guys actually think is the ceiling for Wood? Do you think he'll be a top 10?
I hope
Yes.
his ceiling is the floor. I hope it's the floor.
I actually really do enjoy watching him fight. I think he'll be a fun action fighter. He'll be
He beat a mix dude in
I
the
think he'll
first
be
round.
fringe top 10 to 15 with occasional entry into the top 10 based on matchups.
No, I think he's already top 10, to be honest.
Really?
I don't think he's high in the top 10, but like, I mean, bantamweight is kind of in the same situation that welterweight is in right now. We have like a ton of really good guys coming up who are maybe fringe top 10, but they're just kind of all fighting each other and going on these long ass
I don't know,
streaks.
man. I don't know, man. I
Okay,
can't
take Cody Stamen. Take Cody Stamen, for instance. Would you say
He's
Wood
ranked top 10.
is about? Yeah, but yeah, he's ranked right now, right? And he just got beaten by
I don't
Aljo.
think
like-
he's gonna get in the top 10 anytime soon.
No, but like before he reached top 10, did his performances look that much more impressive than Wood?
But I don't think it's about how impressive they were. I think it's about skill sets. Cody Stamen's skill set is something that no matter what division you're in will always be a problem and allow you to get to very high levels without necessarily developing further skills around it.
Yeah, but it's bantamweight. It's like every second guy is a power boxer.
But he's also a wrestler with a really good wrestler. Like a really
Exactly.
But Wood is not. Wood is a crafty wrestler who's really aggressive. I wouldn't say he's a actual. He's not.
No, but all he needs to do to be a top 10 is just to be a more technical power boxer than most other power boxers.
But
can you do
okay,
that?
would you say he's
Which he already
okay,
is.
let's match him up with Rob Font. I think
Yeah.
that's a good matchup to see where he's at.
Yep, same.
I love that I pulled that. Alejandro, I know you're sad, but try and
Sadness keeps me from being
all right.
objective.
Let's make you happy. We'll end on a happy note for you,
Yeah.
guys. How shit is Thompson Pettis as a fight?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's shit necessarily. It's more like very like random. Like you don't know where that came from. It's like Pettis said.
No, I have a feeling I know where it came from, but like I think it's shit because don't you kind of expect Anthony Pettis just to march forward and get out-angled the entire fight?
Thompson's going to run circles around him and just beat up Anthony Pettis, and it's going to be really funny because Anthony Pettis wants these striking fights, but actually cannot beat strikers who are even marginally good at footwork. like watch. I still remember Barboza literally just picking him apart, and it was hysterical.
I felt so smug watching that fight because I was telling everyone, no, listen here, Anthony Pettis' problems aren't wrestlers. It's people who can either pressure him or fight on the outside. But in both cases, like the shared thread is they have better footwork.
You guys remember when
Barboza has better footwork? What do you think is going to happen?
Do you remember when Aldo was supposed to fight Pettis and they were both title holders and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy! How is Aldo going to beat Pettis?" And I'm like, "But like he's going to
pivot. He's going to pivot, like just pivot so hard all over the octagon.
Pivot the entire fight and just jab Anthony in the face for fucking 5 rounds. Anthony's going to be like, "I don't understand. Why is my Showtime kick off the cage not hitting him?
What?
I don't understand.
So good at punching?
I'm throwing punches and kicks, and they're not."
Like halfway through, Aldo's just gonna like show up behind him off a pivot and be like, "Oh my, Washinduru."
What? There's no fight I want to see more than Aldo Pettis. I'm not gonna lie. There's no, I just want to watch Aldo be like,
"No, Aldo's gonna fight your boy now. Like Aldo's in the championship streak."
That's what I'm saying.
Aldo's like, Aldo's in the zone where like he's gonna show everyone that he'll still be GOAT without actually holding the title because there's gonna be no one for Max to face.
Like Max can come back and it's like
he can actually beat Aldo though.
Hold on. It's like those movies where the guy like goes to the bathroom, comes back, everybody's dead on the floor, and goes, "What the fuck happened?" It's gonna be Holloway. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna defend my belt, and it's gonna be like one guy like crawling towards him, blood rushing down his face, like, please help me.
No, he may fall short on this one though. He may fall short on this.
I think Volkanovski might be the one to stop Aldo from ruining the rest of the division.
Yeah, well, it really is up to Volkanovski now, because if he cannot stop Aldo, like he's just gonna eat up all of Max's potential contenders, and then what?
Then no one's gonna remember that Max is the champ.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like,
Everyone's gonna be like, "Where's Aldo's belt? Did we forget it at home?"
yeah, for the sake of sanity, like Volkanovski.
It's like this. Who's this random lanky Hawaiian dude all of a sudden?
Why is this guy keeps showing up with the belt? Didn't Aldo beat everyone in the top 10? Where's his belt? What's going on? And then like Aldo moves up and wins the lightweight title, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Like, I think Aldo is like sneaky, like a good test for Khabib though. Like,
no, he's not sneaky. He straight up is. I think the size would just be too much, but
yeah, but there will be chances. Like,
for sure. Also, I want to point out this whole conversation could be very different if Max just gets finished in the first round of their fight when Aldo lands a flying, a massive right hand and a flying knee.
Yeah, like, but he can take punishment. That's the thing.
But that's my point. I'm saying like Holloway won that fight by literally just not being finished.
He lost 4 rounds to Jose Aldo.
Yeah, he lost 4 rounds to Jose Aldo, and then Aldo got tired. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Holloway didn't play any part in getting Aldo tired or anything like that, but like
he did well.
Like, he literally just didn't die.
But how insane is that? Like, Jose Aldo has beat how many generations of flyweights?
Yeah.
Like 3, 4?
I don't know. He's never beaten any flyweights as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so it's like steps to beating Jose Aldo. Step 1, don't die. Step 2, finish him before you die.
I feel like
featherweight.
Every single corner of anybody who fights Aldo needs to bring the Bee Gees Staying Alive into the corner. Yeah.
No, Volkanovski's
play it every single round going, that's all you have to do. Stay alive.
No, yeah. Volkanovski's gonna do that. Like, he's a younger, he's just Chad Mendes, but more.
We said that about like both his last opponents though. We were like, Stephens is on this great streak. He's a power puncher. Aldo got cracked recently. He's in real danger.
We actually saw Aldo's struggle against someone with a skill set like Chad Mendes.
Yeah, Volkanovski
fit that mold.
But Volkanovski is like, imagine prime Chad Mendes, and Volkanovski is that plus more shit. So
rugby Chad Mendes.
Yeah, technically, yeah. And so Aldo, like, why are we discussing Aldo versus Volkanovski? But fuck it. That's a fight that Aldo could win by just edging the first 2 rounds and losing a bad 3rd round.
But the thing is, like, I think Volkanovski knows that he'll have to push Aldo, and I think he knows he'll take damage. And I think that's a big portion of fighting Aldo is being aware of the fact that you're gonna get hurt, accepting it, and planning after that happens.
But
I mean, we spoke about this in a previous episode. It's like, okay, you want to push Aldo. Well, now you have to be in the cage with an Aldo who is pissed off at you that you pushed him.
But
it's like, can you survive that?
Correct. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think that it's just going to be Volkanovski will push him, and it's just going to be a matter of whether he can survive it. Because I think if he can,
whether he can take the shot, if he can take the shots, he can win. If he can,
I don't think he can win. I think he will.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think I don't think it's a question of can. If Volkanovski can push hard, and I mean push his normal pace, Aldo drops him. He keeps doing his normal thing, like just keeps going. He's able to power through and forces Aldo to continue to. I don't think Aldo's winning that fight. Even if
if it's the scenario you're saying, no, he won't. Volkanovski will win. I mean he can finish him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean Volkanovski can finish most people.
I feel like there's a very big assumption there though. Because
I don't know if
we kind of banking.
I think
No. I'm saying I'm not even talking about that. I also agree that he can. I'm saying is that like there's a big assumption that after he gets hurt, he'll keep the same thing up after he gets hurt again.
But that's the thing.
No, but that was once. It's like it's not about not getting finished once. It's about not getting finished a few times.
Well, we're assuming that Aldo will hurt him multiple times. We don't know. Like it's
Aldo hit Max with like freaking shit out of a toy box.
I imagine Aldo literally picking.
What the hell was that analogy?
No, I was like trying to think of a way to describe like Aldo hitting him with everything he had. I mean, he bombed him. He had him covered up and continued bombing him. Hit him with a flying knee. Like he did like everything with power, and Max just came back. Like
just imagine
that's.
Let me talk, damn it. I'm just imagining like Volkanovski fighting Aldo in McDonald's and Aldo just pulling shit out of Happy Meals and hitting him with them. Like boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
Boom. Here's the thing I will say. I would say Volkanovski is probably a better clinch striker than Aldo.
No, I agree.
And I think that's something we really have not seen much.
Yeah, Aldo's good at disengaging, but if Volkanovski is getting him to the fence, it's a real tough problem then. Because then you only have two ways to disengage.
Correct. And that's going to really gas Aldo out.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we spent about 10 minutes talking about Aldo versus Volkanovski.
Yeah, talking about not Anthony Pettis versus Wonderboy.
Okay, so yeah, Thompson's going to beat Pettis, and it's going to be really funny. I'm going to go check the betting lines for that.
Why do you all hate Pettis, though? Like,
we don't. We just hate that people think he's a good striker.
What?
I think Ben was Googling penises again.
No. I said we don't hate Pettis. We hate that people think he's a good striker.
Oh, shit. Dustin Poirier is a plus 200 to beat Holloway. That's actually a pretty good line. I'm going to just drop some money on Poirier.
Okay. But yeah, I was saying earlier, I imagine Pettis kind of has it in his head that, he's the best striker and that he mostly loses to wrestlers and that when he loses striking matches, it was for some other reason, like his rib breaking or his hand breaking or something. So I think he sees Wonderboy and it's like, oh, this guy he's not a wrestler. He's not going to pressure me. I can take him. And in the meantime, Wonderboy is like, pivot.
You know what?
Pivot.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking Anthony Pettis just to spite you fuckers.
Okay, you're wrong. That's fine. All right. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, all of you,
for joining us. I apologize to everyone in advance for the iTunes issue. iTunes sucks. It's really, really annoying. And it's very hard to get a fucking podcast put on for some reason. And I'm emailing support constantly, and they're giving me bad advice. So hopefully I'll get this shit on. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and put it on Stitcher.
It's just not iTunes platform.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Post podcast on Spotify, Stitcher. No, I'm on Stitcher. Anyway, join us next week when we're going to have our 20th episode.
Yes.
And this time we won't talk about Randy Couture's penis.
Or Aldo, or Jose Aldo beating someone else. No, we're going to be talking about how Anthony Pettis beat James Thompson.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you both so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. It's been nice to have
Bilal not have demons.
Yes, Bilal. It's nice. It's
nice.
Later.
Later.
Bye.